like today's topic is definitely not on mentorship. It is on going mental. Okay.
Wow. Mentorship.
Yeah, mentorship. So I'll let Cloud do the actual opening.
Wow, and welcome to Podcast Tak Berlesen, people.
Yeah, I just did the Tak Berlesen one. This one is the real God lesson one.
We're still unlicensed to now, lah. You know what? Something that I've been kind of contemplating with recently, right? Is that since we're doing a lot more English episodes nowadays, should we just rename it to like the unlicensed podcast?
Does it sound as nice lah?
Tak Berlesen sounds nicer.
Yeah. Like,
because it
sounds more Malaysian flavor, man.
Okay,
it's like you imagine Malaysia as the unlicensed podcast. Okay, it sounds very UK. You know, English. Then Podcast Tak Berlesen. Okay, that one more Malaysian feel.
Although the conversations are in English.
Yeah lah.
Okay, because I follow this other podcast. Is by YB. So the podcast name is suddenly I forgot. Suddenly it just slipped my mind, you know. But so they were mainly BM before this.
Okay.
So the title is a BM name. And then when they did the first episode ever in English, then they translate the exact name into English, and then they call it that for that podcast.
Maybe,
but still on the same channel lah.
Maybe what you can do is Podcast Tak Berlesen bracket unlicensed podcast.
Would it be too long? I don't know how to brand it in that way.
If the podcast is in English, we do the English title. PM is going to be
But it's always in English now most of the time.
How about ask the people to vote for us?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let us know in the comment section, right? Like, should I change it to the unlicensed podcast, or what do you guys think? Or do I like adapt to based on like the language of the episode? Yeah. Or which one is it? Like that. Let us know. Yeah. Okay. So it's called normally it's called Lebih Masa.
Oh.
Yeah. So when they did one episode in English, which was very recently, they call it, this is the overtime podcast. Yeah. So if they have a BM guest, they will call it a Lebih Masa.
Right.
By YB Nick Nazmi.
It does make sense when it comes to localization, you know. So
and look at this, right? So like this is the episode 74, so they still Lebih Masa channel.
Yeah.
And then this is also Lebih Masa channel, but episode 1 overtime. And then they made the English episode out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that made me kind of think that, do I want to call this the unlicensed podcast now? Or nay? Yay or nay? Nay. Lin says nay. Neutral.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 6-7. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if you guys like feel like you want to contribute to this 6-7, you know, you can put in the comments.
We just brought our producer.
He very easy. You just say 6-7, he will just laugh.
Really?
Yeah. 6-7.
8-9. No, you do again. 6-7.
6-7.
8-9.
8-9.
Yeah.
I came from the Grinch ke?
Yeah, the Grinch did 8-9.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Somebody 6-7. The kid 6-7, then the Grinch 8-9.
There was like the tea party. Kalau kita pergi ke macam Disney ke apa, someone was in the suit and become the Grinch lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the kid was doing that, then he immediately did that, and everyone liked it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like a counter for 6-7.
Yeah.
I will test it with the right audience one day and see what happens. 10-11?
Don't know.
Down?
You can try.
I don't know.
You can make a whole dance out of it, you know. 6-7, 8-9, 10-11.
It can be a whole song.
Yeah.
You know, like Para Para Sakura?
No, you know what it
6-7?
reminds me of?
What?
Friday.
Huh?
They sing Monday, Tuesday.
Oh! What song is that again?
Rebecca Black, Friday.
Hey, I just met you.
No.
Oh no, it's the second
Friday.
one. Yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
In my head, it's a totally different song.
Yeah,
it's a Malay
then
song.
comes Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. In my head, it's a totally different song. So yeah, yeah, it's a totally different song. I have never heard of that one.
Really?
I don't think I've heard it.
Okay, go send it to you later.
Okay, I should be scared now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is worrying. But you know what? We shouldn't be worried. So the topic of this episode is we're going to talk about mentoring. What makes a good mentor? But of course, before we get to mentoring, right? Like we can hear some personal stories of you. Have you had people who you deem as a mentor?
Maybe the first person that I would call mentor when I first started esports was when I was in this clan. Then the clan leader, because he was the one who taught me like how to run tournaments and do community management as well. So yeah.
So you met him online or
It's actually in person.
oh in person?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like when we were in back then this clan name called ESP, Eat Sleep Play. Then our
Eat, sleep, play.
yeah. So our kind of base was in Blitz Zone Damansara Jaya. Yeah. So then we had a few different teams, and then I joined, and then
Isn't that by the petrol station?
it is.
I played the Dota tournament there before.
Yeah, the OKDU.
Okay.
The OKDU.
Alright.
Yeah. So then the clan leader, his name was Brian Chan. Then I think I would consider him my first mentor. But he was the one who kind of like gave me a bit of inspiration about how do you even do esports in the long run. And his words was like esports is like it's a marketing tool essentially. So that's where it started. So yeah. So then he was probably my first mentor, I would say. Yeah. Then,
Wow. Okay. So he kind of like guide you through that or something like that, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
So he taught me how to run tournaments, taught me how to do community management and so on. And like even do the modding and stuff like that in like Call of Duty 4, the settings, all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. For me, I want to start off with so there are a few categories that I just want to break down a little bit more, right? So there is teacher, coach, manager, then mentor. So I did some notes here, right? So what is the difference between these? Right. So teacher it focus on knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Coach focus on performance.
Okay.
Manager focus on results.
Okay.
Mentor focus on growth.
Okay.
Yeah. So this differs the relationship lah. Right. So like teacher is a little bit more formal. Coach is more structured. Manager is more of a authoritative, and mentor is more advisory. Now, can these be jumbled up and mixed together? Yes. In my opinion, I think it can be jumbled up and mixed
I
together.
think it can be too.
Yeah. So like your manager can also be your mentor, for example.
Yeah.
Your teacher can be your mentor.
Yeah.
Your coach can be your mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But do they get there or not? Then I guess it really depends on what expectations you have and what the journey is between the two of you lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, because I realized I learn more from just doing, and what I require from like anybody, a mentor, a manager, and so on, is just point me in the direction, roughly, and then set like the expectations for an end goal. I will kind of go and figure it out on my own, because maybe I'm one of those people that are more stubborn. I don't really listen, but I will. I don't really, when somebody gives me advice, I don't necessarily go and do it exactly that way. I will listen, but I probably won't do it that way. I'll find a way by getting insights and wisdom from how they've done it before and how they tell me to do it, then I'll figure out a way to and then to reach that goal. So I learned because found that I learned better through my own experience somehow. So yeah. So usually the mentors that I meet or the teachers, they kind of just give me the end goal, then I just figure it out. That's kind of how it works for me.
Then along the way, how?
Along the way, along the way, there is no along the way.
There's no along the way. It's like it's
Yeah.
either the start or the end already.
Yeah, I kind of just go and figure it out, and then of course they probably will give feedback here and there. Then I just course correct. But
Right.
they just give feedback. Then I'll kind of just go and figure it out already.
Right.
Or I've stuck somewhere. Then they'll just see me, or I watch what they're doing. Then I learning. I go apply it myself. So yeah, that's kind of how it is for me. Yeah.
So when I came up with this topic, right, and then I had this breakdown, and then I kind of thought like, there are people who before this I kind of thought is a mentor, but then when I start writing these notes or breaking it down, then I start to reflect: is it a mentor or is it a teacher or is it a manager? Yeah, it could be a hybrid of a little bit of here and there also lah. So I think what I felt in this is probably during my first job. Yeah, so my first ever job, okay, part-time jobs don't count lah. My first ever full-time job was I did customer service, and my team lead that time was kind of like a mentor, but that relationship evolved from him just being a manager and teacher, and I guess over time then it became a mentor more. And how it evolved is that, okay, because it's my first job, so it's like you enter the workforce, you don't know what's going on, you have zero of what's happening and all that, right? So by being the manager, it's like, okay, he just like, okay, set goals for you, okay, this is the job that you need to do, this is the task, this is what you need to achieve, yada yada yada, and so on. And then at the same time, he has to teach me how to do the job lah, right? So that's where the whole teaching thing comes, like, oh, okay, here's where you get this, here's where you get that, and so on and so forth. So it's like a little bit more directive. But along the way, that I kind of learned like, oh, this is how you do things. And then he would kind of explain also why does he do it. So it's not like, okay, you just do it without knowing why. So that was what I kind of like. But our relationship evolved over time is that as I worked myself up, then I became team lead also. And he was also still team lead. So we became like peers. So when obviously he has been working way longer than me. So this guy called Abang Zola, I call him. Then our relationship kind of changed to like, he kind of guided me on how to become a team lead. Right. So then our conversation started to be a little bit different. I remember him saying to me that time is that now we are peers. So we are same. Yeah. So then how he treated me and the level of conversation started to be different. It became more advisory, and you at the end of the day make the call because you are team lead also. So I'm not going to decide on your behalf because now we are same. You decide for whatever area that you're in charge of. Yeah. So that kind of changed along the way for me. So I guess that was kind of like how I felt having a mentor at that time. Even like now, I reflect back, it's like, okay, yeah, that's probably my first touch point of mentoring lah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I've never really thought about it in that so different kind of roles, like teacher, manager, mentor, and coach. Like more of like maybe teacher for me is more like in school. Teacher, like lecturer, that kind of thing. Then manager is more like you say, it's more about authority. Like they are the ones that have the final say in stuff. They will dictate what you do, Then coaching, of course, like you said, performance is more about they don't do what you're doing, but they are enhancing your performance on it. Then mentor is what they kind of really guides you. But I feel mentors can exist in any of those three. the other three are I would say roles that people play. Like there are certain I would say maybe is hierarchy attached to them. But mentor, I would say, is not really dependent on hierarchy. It can be anybody. It can be your supervisor, it can be your peer, it can even be somebody who so-called you are supervising, but they are teaching you wisdom. You're gaining knowledge from them.
Yeah.
You can gain knowledge from anybody, technically. But the other three seem to have more, there's a hierarchy attached to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's how I see it.
I think one thing about mentoring is that it is not necessarily the hard skills. I think hard skills is definitely not mentoring already.
Yeah.
Hard skills is either teaching or coaching or even managing already. Mentoring is more of like the life skill sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's how I would see it as well. And I would say mentoring is also a more active approach from the mentee. So in my opinion is that if somebody is in a mentoring relationship, it has to be the mentee that has more initiative to start the conversation or to carry the conversation, and then mentor is just like, okay, fill in the guidance and the like the directive of it from there onwards. Yeah, but the key questions and the key theme comes from the mentee itself.
Right.
That's in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. So so that was my early careers, right? But I probably couldn't really differentiate like any of these elements. To me, it's like, oh, he's my boss,
Yeah.
So that's how the kind of relation. But as I moved along my career and I did different things, and then I reached this point where I met this person called Edwin Chin. So we met in the middle of my career when I started to join Quintic.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was my boss there, right? So of course, as a start, like, okay, it's all about like, okay, what do you do and so on and so forth and all that. But we have worked with each other for at least two or three different companies, right? And we already know our work style and our working flow. So our relationship changed from there also. Yes, he's still my line manager. But then again, our conversations start to be more different. So how different was those conversations is that because we have this level of relationship that we are very close, that we can freely say anything without being judged. Same for him also. He can say anything to me without me judging him. It can be the dumbest idea. It can be just, I just want to rant about it, and you can just forget about it after this, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can say it to each other. And because we have that sort of you can say anything relationship, right? Even though we are in a reporting line relationship, then it allows for me to also ask like whatever career questions, and it doesn't matter. Even if I say that, I think for example, then this is an example. I think I want to look for a new job. Right? And in a typical staff-boss relationship, you wouldn't raise this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
But because we're so close, it's like, I can just say like that. And then he'll be like, okay, have conversations around what are the things that you have thought of? Have you kind of like thought of what would it be like in the next few years? How does it might look like for you in your next move and so on, and things like that. So it tends to be a more mentoring sort of conversation. And at the end of the day, whatever decision that I make is up to me. It's not like he makes the decision or he guides me to a decision. He just covers these angles, and then it's like, you decide what you think is the best for you. So that's example. There can also be like situations where like, okay, it's work related situations and it's like, okay, I'm trying to make decisions for my own, and then all he does is like, okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? But he doesn't make the decision for me. It's like, okay, if you thought about this and that, then yeah, you decide what is the best after hearing everything, after reflecting everything. So it kind of helps me to be more reflective. So I think that when it comes to mentoring, those are like the key elements to it, lah. Yeah. Have you had like something like that?
I feel that there are so many people that I would say I learned from along the way, because I just try to really observe how people do things and observe their mannerisms, like be it the more technical aspects of things or just how they talk to people or how they approach problems, and then I just kind of draw from their experience and just learn through, sometimes by copying them or try out what they're doing, trying to put myself in their shoes. So me I think that maybe I'm fortunate that I've had a lot of supervisors that kind of go out of their way to come and impart their knowledge or wisdom, I would say, compared to just like, they just give instructions or give approvals. Those are like the typical managers, right? Results, give me your update. What's the I approve this, go this way, and so on. But most of the, I think, managers that I've worked with, they have mentored me in a way where they also give some kind of guidance, and when I seek advice, then they will also like provide some like not just instructions but also perspectives from their perspective or from other people's perspectives to kind of like inspire certain kind of trace of thought. Then from there I can kind of help to come to a better decision from there. So yeah, I've more often seen other people mentor others,
right?
Compared to me really being that process. Maybe it's just because I'm the kind of person usually I more often than not would try to figure things out myself, and then if there's an issue, I know that I'm not the one who would make the final say, but I would try to figure out the solution before going back to that person. Like my manager has the final say. I will try to figure out, I see the issue, I try to figure out the solution first before going back and say, hey, I noticed this, could we do it like this? So yeah. So maybe it's just because of the way that I do things. I haven't had that chance to really have a long-term kind of mentor-mentee relationship, like as somebody else being my mentor. But I more like observe other people mentoring others as well.
Right.
Yeah, more of that. So yeah.
Right. Okay. I guess if I want to take away from the work context of things, right? Yeah. Because I think if we talk about work context, then the lines can be quite blurred. Yeah. But what if we move away from a non-work context to be like more personal context? So I think that sometimes when I action on something, it's not something that I consciously thought that, it's mentoring someone else, but the other somebody tends to say that, he sees me as a mentor. Yeah. Okay. So I give this so this is an actual scenario, right? So Beacatron Kent. Yeah. So he often calls me his mentor. Which I'm frankly speaking, I'm very honored that someone who's a SEA Games gold medalist, multiple Pro League champion,
BTR, man.
BTR, right? Who in multiple occasions, he says that he sees me as a mentor. And I guess what led to those and obviously we don't have a work relationship lah, right?
Yeah.
He does something very different. In fact, we were competing against each other in the SEA Games. Yeah. Which was the first time we met in person, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. But after that, we kept in touch. We had a lot of good conversations together and so on. So in a lot of our conversations, he tends to want to discover more about life and career. Like he often asks me like, okay, what's next for him? How does he take the next step? And so on. And then sometimes when he faces issues with work or handling people, and obviously I don't have a stake in it, right? Because I'm not working directly with him. So he would ask for thoughts or advice about like, okay, I'm facing this scenario. What do I do? Right. So we have had these kind of conversations along the way, and then I guess he felt there is a certain value. It felt valuable to him that it helped him to give him more clarity on what he needs to do next, whether it's life, career, or even his own current job. That he says that he sees me as mentoring him lah, which I kind of, I never thought about it in that way. To me, it was a conversation with a friend. But if he sees it in that way, I'm honored lah, having that kind of recognition from somebody who's so high profile. Yeah, and he's way younger, in his mid-20s. Yeah, so I guess it's clearer to see it. It will be clearer to see that mentoring relationship if you don't have a direct working relationship with each other.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, if you think about it.
Yeah, working, it's more like you just listen and then you just, it's easier for them to have that kind of interactions. But like you say, it gets blurred, right? Because they can be your supervisor, and then
it's their job to help you anyway.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's also hard to see that the whole above and beyond thing, because mentors, they really need to empathize and truly care for you, right? But there are plenty of managers and great managers who do that as well, right? So
and also they do that because it is their job.
Yeah,
and you are maybe your performance as a team is tied together anyway.
Correct.
He has to help you to be successful so that he can be successful.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it is easier to see that relationship there. But maybe that's why, like, sometimes for me at least, I feel that a lot of to be a great manager, you also need to be able to be quite a good mentor as well.
Good point.
Because you got to merge it. It's like if you just care about the results, I
then
think
you're
for
just
some,
authoritarian.
So yeah, it's authoritarian because you're just giving out orders and so on. But I feel that in the end, if you really want to build a great team, right, it's not just about they need to, let's say, follow these SOPs or follow your instructions. In a way, they need to be able to think for themselves as well. Because you're not training a robot, you're training people, right? And if you want to train people, it's not as easy as just giving them instructions. It's also for them to learn those instructions and practice them effectively. You need to be able to empathize with them, because you need to be able to feel that where they are being challenged, what things come natural for them, what things are really difficult for them. You meet them halfway, and then you actually guide them through that whole process. So you need to do your job well as a good manager. You need to be able to mentor people quite well. Yeah.
But at the back of the mind, you know that there is a stake in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why the guidance will always be towards that that KPI, so to speak, right? Yeah. But I guess if the major differentiator now is that, okay, if I have no stake in you at all, however you
Yeah.
perform has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So that means that whoever who is mentoring will need to be able to have that absolute genuine care that
Yeah.
I care for you, even though however you do, it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
But I genuinely care for
Yeah.
your success, and I am happy to see you be successful.
Yeah.
Hence, whatever that I share with you and whatever questions that you have for me and the time I spent with you, it is absolute genuine because
Yeah.
I have nothing in return at all.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that's
Yeah.
a big differentiator there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you come across anyone who has given you that sense?
I have friends that I can speak to.
Mm.
But like I said, I think it really boils down to how I am as a person. I rarely reach out for help.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't really develop that kind of relationships with people. But it's more of like a friend that they can just accept me for who I am.
Mm.
And yeah, some of them do give me advice, but it's like as a friend, that kind of thing. It's not really as like a mentor, that kind of relationship, They're more there to listen and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, I can't say I really have people like that, but I do have wise people that are around me, that kind of thing.
Mm. But you don't consider that as mentor. You just consider maybe as like someone who just ask question.
Who's a good friend?
Who's a good friend?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
More towards that. Do you have anybody that you would consider like mentors to yourself?
Right. I do, but before I get to that, since we on the topic of like just a good friend and mentor, I feel that I have somebody, right? Okay. So this guy called Ikwan, you probably heard his name a few times. I always mention it, right?
Yeah.
So he is slightly older than us, okay, just a few years, and he does something totally different. He's in engineering, right? Software engineering. But we click easily as friends.
Right.
But that means that it's easy for us to share anything and everything without being judged. So that's kind of cool, right? Yeah, so it feels more like, but at the same time, because he's also a professional that's well exposed, a smart guy and whatever, I can also ask him things that I feel that I'm having challenges with, and he's able to guide that conversation and so on, because he does have a coaching background as well. I guess that's kind of, you need it because you manage. If you're at that certain level, you also manage other people and so on. So he's able to throw me the mind-blowing questions and just let me think about it and all that. So yeah, I would somewhat consider him like friend and maybe sub-mentor. Like, okay, then that's like a friend that I can just be say anything, and then the sub is the mentor. But if coming back to your question, like let's say I put it as a pure mentor first, and maybe other things later, which is not a bad thing, by the way. I wouldn't say that putting friend as a secondary is a bad thing. It's not, right? It's just a mix in it, right? But maybe it's a bigger percentage. I would say, in recent times, it's Richard. Yeah, Richard, he has been on the podcast before. You guys can check out his episode way back, just scroll all the way down. Yeah. So, sports lawyer. Yeah. So, how I came to that was that, so over time, especially by working in esports, and I do consider myself as a freelancer in esports for majority of the things that I do, right? And the world gets a bit lonely. Yeah, you have other casters that you can talk about casting stuff. Yeah, you have broadcast people you can talk about broadcast stuff. Yeah, you have this and that. But essentially, everybody's doing their own thing, right? So I had moments that it gets a bit anxious. I need to kind of clear my mind. So I went for mental health therapy. right? Some people may see this negatively, it's like, oh, do you have issues going to therapy? It's not that you have issues to go to therapy. It's because like you wanna like kind of clear your mind a little bit and see if somebody can help you to clear that lah. So it's like kind of give you that guidance, right? So I went to sessions, right? So one thing that I noticed in therapy, it's great. Like they're all trained professionals. You can see their gestures all, and you feel really good having a conversation with somebody who doesn't know you.
Yeah.
You can leave the room knowing that this person doesn't know me anyway, so I can say anything I want. Super transparent. But there's something that is missing. The person doesn't know you means that the person doesn't understand you. Okay, professionally, I believe that they diagnose you and they understand in that manner. But do they understand you? Especially in the line of industry that we are at, right?
Yeah.
Not many people understands how it is in esports in the first place. So sometimes I like spend more time explaining that, or especially this when I have to change therapists. So for example, this one therapist of mine, she in our last session she told me that, I'm leaving, I'm relocating somewhere else. So then she asked me, do you want to get someone new? At that point in time I said, it's okay. But after a while then I thought that, okay, I want to restart the session, but I have to do it with someone new. Then I have to redo the session again. So I had a bad experience on my second redo.
Okay.
Right? First session, explain basically what I do and why I'm here and all that. And then we sat, and then I remember at the end of that conversation, the person said, okay, let's have this as our next conversation in our next session, right? Then, okay, cool. Then I scheduled the next session, went into it, and then it's like, okay, I want to follow up from what we discussed last time, which is this, right? And then the person like, did we agreed on this thing that we want to follow up on? So it kind of like the person also got lost in the process of following up lah.
Yeah.
So it gave me the like, okay, I'm just another client sort of feeling. So that was kind of like disappointing lah. So after that session, then I didn't continue anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been very uncomfortable. Right.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward at the start. It's like, then you are not prepared with my follow up. Then where do we go from here? So someone I'm paying for the hour or hour and a half, right?
Yeah. Though it does kind of sound like, it might be really hard for a mentor not to eventually become a close friend. Because they really, like you said, they really need to care for you deeply. And I think unless you're blood related or like really good friends, I don't know how else you can develop that kind of feelings.
True. It cannot be like Can a total stranger be a mentor?
Yeah, that I think that is a kind of interesting question to ask.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, because like mentors usually is somebody that you look up to for certain things, or you look to for advice. Right. And usually they are also people you eventually have a bond with. And I've also heard these things where mentors choose you.
Oh.
Yeah, you might seek mentors, but eventually the relationship that you build, right, that lasts with the mentee, the mentor will choose you. Because they need to be comfortable with you and choose you, that you are somebody that they can impart their knowledge with and their wisdom with. Yeah. So they choose you as much as you might be choosing them as well. So that choice, you need to form a rather deep bond.
Yeah, I think this is also very interesting, right? Now that you bring this one up, I'm also imagining myself, like, let's say for example, this CEO of this company that I've probably just seen his speeches or his content, but I don't know him in person.
Yeah.
Does it work if let's say, I just somehow reach out to him and send him an email or something and say, hey, okay, can I seek mentorship for you? I think I will also feel kind of weird for that, right?
Yeah. Maybe how you can look at it is like, have you ever encountered these times where people look for you for advice? And I'm sure there's been many people, right? Like Ken was one of them. But you definitely chose to give Ken that advice compared to maybe 20 other people who reached out to you. You may have decided that this might not be the person that I can give some kind of advice to. So you don't choose them either. But the ones that you give advice to non-stop, you choose them because you choose that, this is somebody that is receptive to this.
That's a very good point, right? So I think now that I reflect on that, right? So my relationship with Ken, and when he comes with all these questions and we just go back and forth and all that, is I see that he is super genuine and our values sort of match. Like how we see personal growth sort of match, and we have good conversations over it. And of course, for his perspective, he is a coach, so he wants to help his players to grow, not only as players themselves, but also as better people. So yeah, I mean, there's a whole backstory of how he brought up players who are tier 3 to become PMPR champions and all that. You can check out the episode. It's called The Dumbest Person. Being the dumbest person, one of my favorites. He did explain that. So anyway, so it's because we resonate with the purpose, or I resonate with his purpose. That's why I'm like, okay, I think if I'm able to add value to you, for you to carry your purpose out there, cool, because I resonate with your purpose as well. And of course, there are also some people who come to me and ask for advice, right? Like many different things, like, this community team owner come and ask me like, how do I ask for sponsorship, for example, and all that. Then I do tell them like, okay, you do this, do that, and then okay, the conversation ends there. So there's no resonating of a follow-up from them. Maybe the next question of am I doing the right thing to ask for sponsorship? Should the first thing that I do as a community team is to ask for sponsorship first? There's no those sort of follow-up questions from them. It's just like, okay, so you want to know how to build a deck? I tell you how to build a deck.
Yeah.
Then it ends there. There's no follow-up on that. So then I also don't feel it from them. They also they're happy with the answer. They teach how to build a deck. Okay, no?
Yeah.
Then it's just teaching.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they come back and ask me those questions, now that I learned how to build a deck, but is it the right thing to start off with? Then we start to talk more.
Yeah.
Then maybe I would have a different feel as well.
Yeah.
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 So in continuation and also relevant to what you also asked, right, is that from having that therapy session that was kind of like a failure. Yeah. And I still had to pay, by the way. Yeah. It wasn't free. Yeah. Then I stopped doing that. But along the way, then I start to feel like there's something missing, So I was trying to piece together what was missing between now and the life I had before, right? Was a mentor was kind of missing. Right. So that's where, I start to formulate this idea of maybe I need to look for somebody who can provide me that guidance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had 3 things that I took into consideration in looking for a mentor. Number 1 is the person needs to know the industry that we're in. Yeah. Because our industry is not that easy to explain. Yeah. Because I've got before, when I want to talk about my struggles in the industry with some friends, and then the response I got bro, but you celebrity, why you so?
Why are you so worried about things? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you're everywhere and all that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because they don't understand the industry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I needed someone who know that, right? Number two, I needed somebody who is older than me, right? Okay, now you think about these two criteria: older than me and knowing about the industry. Oh, that's already the filter a lot already.
99% gone.
99% gone, yeah. The age factor, 99% gone.
Yeah.
Okay. The third factor is that the person needs to have a good purpose in their lives, right? Whether it's in the work they do or it's in their personal actions and all that. So these three things need to fit. So that's where I start to like think of like, okay, who would fit all these three criteria? So I had a long list right? At some point I kind of like note down, trying to recall a bit of my interactions with people and all that, note down. And I had this long list. So out of the long list, then I kind of took a step back and said, Richard actually ticks all these three boxes.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
And you know him personally as well, you have met him.
Yeah.
And would you say that he ticks all these boxes?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
So knowing the industry, obviously older, and is purposeful.
Yeah.
Does purposeful work.
Yeah.
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 So that's where I kind of reached out to him one day and said, hey, can we meet up for breakfast? And I told him the purpose why I want to meet up with him. So I know that with these senior people who are very busy, you need to kind of like be more straight to the point.
Yeah.
Don't do the hi, free sort of text. Yeah, you need to be like,
You probably get ignored.
yeah, I'll probably get ignored. Even honestly for me, if anyone texts me then, hello, free if I see it's like, yeah, then like,
Honestly, even for me, I'll be like, I'll reply when I have more time.
yeah,
And that more time might never come.
it's the deprioritized.
Yeah, like free. Do you have something you want to talk about specifically?
Yeah.
You know, be more specific. Then easier to
Correct.
go about it. But yeah,
Yeah. Sidetrack. This is the part where people need to differentiate communication by text and communication in front.
yeah,
In front, I can tell you, hey, free
yeah,
if you're an immediate response. But by text, you just get straight to the point.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
easier.
If I am looking at your message, there is a likelihood that I am kind of free to look at it.
Yeah,
Then the response, how long it will take, it depends on how complex the message needs to be responded. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I wrote in this text that includes directly the purpose. Say that, okay, can we meet up for breakfast or something? Breakfast / lunch / dinner or something like that. And I told him the purpose that I want to
yeah,
meet up with him. I say that I want to discover these three key things: life, purpose, and career. So around these three topics, and then he said, yeah, okay, let's meet up. And then, yeah, we meet up. That's where I bombard him with all the questions. I think bombard sounds very big, right? But that's where I asked him all those questions, right?
Sounds like therapy session number 1.
You can say so. You can say it's therapy, but it has a lot more purpose to it.
Right.
So to me, it felt that okay, this is my missing puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, I needed somebody who could guide me rather than tell me something generic or I'm just another customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's like, you know how so people like Tony Robbins, people call them world-class coaches, and there's other people like also I think similar, which is like Simon Sinek as well, right? Because they all carry this kind of worldviews that can help mentor and guide people towards certain things. And usually people seek them out because, like how you said, you want to seek specifically on these few things. Like I want business success. Like let's say for Tony Robbins, most of them want business success. You know, they want to find their purpose in life. If you seek, now there's like Simon Sinek is like, what is the why in me and my organization? You know, how do I be better as a leader? Like how, because that's what Simon Sinek always teaches about. You know, then there are other people who go about those very business coaches. They have these classes. They are filled with like sessions like maybe 10, 20 people maximum, and they are practically seeking them to help give that wisdom of just how do they look for advice from him to get to where they are today, because they see that that person is somebody that they want to be in the future. You know, like for example, you look at Richard, he's all your criteria. He's somebody that you also would want to become similar to him in the future. And that's
maybe not a lawyer lah. It's a bit too late.
Yeah, probably not a lawyer, but I think it's just the whole persona, because you're more than your job, you know, or your title. It's just the person, what you represent. So I think people, when they look for mentors, they look for somebody that represents the kind of person that they would like to be. You know, so then after that is the mentor's job to kind of choose whether like, is this somebody that really wants to become, that's really will do what they say they want to do.
Hang on, Lin.
People look for mentors because they want to be who that mentor is.
Right.
Because the mentor represents somebody they want to become compared to somebody they are now. You know, they resonate with it, they have the same values and so on. Right? Like how you and Ken have that relationship. I think you both have same values and so on. And when you look for Richard, also that's somebody that you a persona, someone that you aspire that if this is somebody that I could become, then that's I would want to get his wisdom and so on. So and in return they will choose you. You know,
Yeah. I guess like those few examples that you give, right? Because they are professional coaches, it almost feels like it's coaching, because there is a transactional purpose to it. Like, I'm a professional coach. You want to do better in business, for example. You find me and I coach you to it, and your success means that it's revenue to me, right? Maybe not directly like, because you earn X amount of money, I get a cut, not because of that, but because I coach you and that's why you earn X amount of money. So that's the whole purpose to it. Rather than I have no stake in it, I just feel that your purpose is resonating with me. That's why I help you, sort of thing. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of like the differentiator there, lah. And plus, it is their source of income to be coaching people. So clearly, so it's not like, they can choose who they want to coach because they are there, but they can also not choose because they need to earn the money. Yeah. Rather than like, the other example, that's the opposite. Yeah, I guess that you say yes, that is the key difference. But if let's say they were mentors to people, and like you said, it wasn't a transactional relationship, and there was nothing at stake, right? And if somebody wanted to be like them, and then look for them as a mentor, then they would be able to be like, because there's no money involved. That if I do this, it is purely like I want to mentor this person or coach this person or so on, right? Then they will be like, I'm giving up my time. Is this somebody that we genuinely really want to take action on this or not? You know, then if they say it is, then they will choose them and then go on from there. Yeah. And positioning yourself as a coach is also nothing wrong with it. It is just that's how it's more transactional that way. Yeah, but like you said, mentoring is just a different, maybe it's just a very different perspective. So So there are a few C levels that I keep in touch through LinkedIn at least. So I see. So some of them have moved on from doing C-suite sort of work.
Yeah.
Maybe they get into consulting, or they just freelance themselves, or they just be themselves, like basically. And on their profiles, a lot of them, I see them use the word coaching rather than mentoring. So I guess that's also because it's their work now.
Yeah.
So that's why they use the term coaching more than the term mentoring. Mentoring may be a sub of that. But if you put it as like mentoring first, then it is the criteria that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So here comes the follow-up question from what we discussed, and we set the baseline understanding of mentoring and all that. Who do you think in esports make good mentors?
I can't answer who, but I think the kind of people that I would think make good mentors who they have, of course, a wealth of knowledge, right? And then they must also be able to really understand like the culture and then the different issues that are involved in esports. But I would say that one criteria they must have is that they have been through quite a bit of hardships and challenges throughout their lives. Because mentoring is more, for me at least, mentoring is more than just like I teach you what to do. But mentoring, it is, I am guiding you by providing you perspectives in your life. I'm not here to actually decide for you what to do next. I'm providing you my perspective so that you can decide for yourself eventually. And usually only people who have gone through certain amounts of hardship develop that kind of understanding and really being able to put things in perspective. And that is good enough for yourself to learn. But to impart that onto somebody else, you need to be able to empathize with them as well. To not just like tell them what to do, but to really understand that person from where they are before you provide your like perspective and advice.
I think that's a good point, because also some of the things that we discussed throughout is that there has to be a level of relationship and care to it.
Yeah.
So to really say that, oh, this person will be a great mentor, that person will be a great mentor, it may you may fit my criteria of being a great mentor, but it may not fit your criteria of being a great mentor, because the resonance may be different. And what you want to aim for is also different. What the person also goes for is different. So it's kind of hard to tell that. So I guess in order for somebody to come up with okay, now I'm inspired. After listening to this episode, I'm inspired to find a mentor. The person will need to have a framework of who fits that criteria that they can go to for. And of course, that criteria also involves like how open of a conversation that the both of you can have with each other without being judged. I think that is also very, very
that one is
criteria.
hard. So I think the first step for me would be decide, if you can at all, who you might want to be in the future, the kind of person that you aspire to become. Then you list down those characteristics, see if there's somebody that fits the bill. Then, like you said, talk to them, and then hopefully you can have some rapport.
Right. Okay, then I'm going to give you the I wouldn't say the hard question, right? Okay, the curveball question.
Yeah.
Now that we have had this conversation, and let's say if you're put in a situation that, okay, think about who might be your mentor.
Okay.
Anyone that comes to your mind. And why?
Mentor.
Like this is just on top of your head. It may or may not be.
If I were to want to seek a mentor right now, I think it's not anybody in esports. It's probably if I could, I would try to talk to Simon Sinek, because I resonate a lot with him. He talks a lot about finding your why. And for me, I am somebody that I'm very driven by purpose. So he once you find your why, then you're constantly you're driven to try to pursue that. But the way that he is also very vulnerable as not only a leader but also a human being, when he talks about his relationships with not just his staff, his even his friends as well, you know. So that is something that I find very admirable, because, and also he's somebody that he understands the nuance of timing. Like he is somebody that is quite upfront, and I find myself being that kind of person as well. But he also understands the nuance of like the right time to be able to provide the best kind of advice as well, you know. So I think being able to learn from somebody like him, I think for me would be like I would really love to have that kind of opportunity.
Do you think everybody needs a mentor?
I don't think the word is need, because having a mentor would help to speed things up a lot. Because, like it or not, one of the best ways to learn is through other people's mistakes. If they've done it before. So even if, let's say, like even for myself, like I've said before that I learn the best when through my own experience, right? But I can when I understand what other people have done before, I hear those things, I can identify those pitfalls through a lot easier, even if it's from my experience. So I will try it out, then but I have so much more information from what other people have tried before, that when those same curveballs or challenges happen, right, I can identify them so much more clearer, you know. So even I repeat it, but I learn so much faster as well. So like you don't need a mentor, but having one will really help you. But you gotta, I think the key is that you not just need to find somebody, you yourself also need to be prepared to really hear and listen to some hard truths.
Yeah, I think the hard truths is one, and
Yeah.
ready to listen to that.
Yeah.
But the person must also be ready to ask the right questions.
Correct.
Because if you meet with senior people, you want to make the best out of the time meeting, rather than asking very surface questions and all that. Yeah. So I guess if anyone's listening to this podcast might be wondering, okay, so what kind of questions do you ask a mentor? Right? I guess this would be maybe some of the things that people listening to this might wonder, right? So I'll give my perspective then. So some of the things that I discuss, the overarching is life, career, and purpose. So as an example, right, I asked this question: how do we know if we are doing the right thing when it's actually not? Yeah, because, and how I came up with this kind of question is because, like, sometimes we think that this is the right thing, and yeah, I'm doing it, but at the behind that, maybe some other people are hurt, or some processes are broken, and it just doesn't create a good environment. But to you is that, but it is the right thing. If we don't do it, then it becomes worse. You know, and this is just an example. So I kind of wanted to reflect on this kind of point. And this is the type of question that I do ask as well. So you can imagine that you have to have a level of experience in life to be able to answer this.
Yeah. So I think for me, the keyword that pops out when it comes there is discernment. Because when you're asking a mentor, right, you're not asking for what should I do. You're asking for how do I know what's right from wrong, or what is good or bad, best for myself compared to somebody else. it's really about learning how to discern what's the best way to move forward. And when you're talking about discernment, it's not about just option A or B. It's being able to look at the situation and understand all different elements and perspectives involved. And a mentor can help you to help you reflect back on the same kind of situation in ways that you have never thought about. And that's trains your discernment a lot, because you've been seeing it from your lens. You have certain biases, you miss something. Your mentor, with their wealth of experience, you say, have you ever thought of it this way? Just by saying those certain things, providing that perspective, then you've never thought of it that way. Then you learn to discern, add to your level of discernment in terms of, assessing, just to access the situation. Then from there, you move forward with a lot more better judgment.
Yeah. So that's a good way to kind of summarize the reason behind asking the questions. It's not like coming and ask hey, how do I drive a car? You know, that when you go find a teacher right? Yeah. So and I think if I can give another example to the people listening here, just to get a framework of it. Some of the other things that I ask is that how do you deal with the anxiety of change? Because change is never easy. Yeah. And then of course I give a whole context to that question, but essentially that's the kind of question that I would ask. So again, it's the same criteria of it's broad and reflective, and only somebody with enough life experience can answer. Yeah. So something like that. Yeah. And this is something that I also shared with my students before this, right? Me being reflecting on this mentorship journey, I feel that it is one of the more underrated things that people that people might overlook. Because in the life of learning, people would easily think of okay, I need to find a lecturer, a teacher to teach me how to drive a car, to teach me how to do my maths homework. Although some people might just ace it without even studying, but that's a totally different topic altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's always this teacher who teaches you, right? Oh, I need to get this work done. I don't know how to create a pitch deck. I don't know how to propose to client. Okay, your manager will come and then will teach you and tell you what to do and so on and so forth. Yeah. So those are quite clear because it's very actionable items that people would lead to, right? But mentoring is it's sometimes not as actionable, right? They're just discovering and helping to guide in the questions of life. And this is how I see it. So that's why perhaps people might overlook that sort of importance in having one. But in my opinion is that it is good to have one. So do you need to have one? Maybe not. It depends on your personal situation. But I think that it's always good to have one.
Yeah, it's always benefit.
Correct.
It's always benefit.
So you're always reflective. Because then it comes back to the question I asked, how do you know if you're doing the right thing when it's actually not?
Yeah.
So by having somebody who can have this conversation with you, you're able to be more reflective rather than you try to reflect alone, that sometimes not many people can, or not everybody can do.
You might miss some stuff.
Yeah.
Which is normal, right? Having somebody else to help you out through that is good. And I think one way I like to think about it is that, so let's say stuff that if you need some work done or you need to learn something and someone comes and teaches you, sure, then that is at the baseline level, which is you're stuck, someone teaches you, then you are learning that whole process, right?
So you can move.
Yeah, you can move to the next technical level and so on. But then, right, if you realize everything that is you learning stuff, then that on the higher level, then you can ask the question, which is how do you learn how to learn?
Oh.
Then how do you learn to learn effectively? For example, I know there are many, when you ask that question, then you start to think, does everybody learn the same way? You know, some people learn by people give them instructions, then they learn through there. Like for myself, I realized I learned through as just doing things more. I learn better through that. Some people learn better through listening, and some people learn better if they combine different ways of processing thought and the teachings. You know, so I think like when you get a mentor, they can elevate your perspective to that higher level. You know, compared to you just learn, but then like, have you ever thought how you're learning? Is it the best way? Is it suiting to you? You know, so yeah, it kind of has that higher level. Maybe it's called metacognition. Not sure it's the right term, but yeah, it is a higher level of like thought. It's not just absorbing.
Yeah, and because of this higher level, right? Like sometimes, and even like for myself as well, some things that we discuss and I reflect in our discussion. Some of it takes many months for me to realize actually what it means or what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Because not everything is like, I get the answer on the spot. It's not meant to getting the answer. It's about guidance. And then as I go along the way, there's like, so this is what it meant. And I reflect back on that conversation. It's like, okay, now I see the point here. Because things are just the conversations can be quite deep and a little bit vague here and there. It's because it really depends on what sort of situation at the point of time.
I think it's like sometimes it's like planting a seed. And then the seed won't sprout until the situation is actually right.
Yeah.
But because somebody planted that seed, then you start to notice those kind of situations more. That eventually it matures, it sprouts, and now I see it. You know, but if nobody helped to plant that seed, maybe you would notice it eventually. You know, but because somebody planted that seed for you, you had help. So it came to you sooner than later.
Then later
or maybe never.
Yeah, exactly.
It might never come.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. So I personally see a lot of value in it, and of course, if anyone were to ask me yes or no, I would easily say yes, Like look for someone that you resonate and try to have a framework of what you want to aim for, and be clear about the purpose of discussion, so that when you spend that 1 hour, 2 hours, it is fruitful. Yeah, rather than you sembang kosong lah, it becomes another mamak talk lah. And that I believe that can be the danger of such meetings if you don't set like, okay, this is what I want to discuss on. Because you also want to value the time of the person. Because I can imagine also myself is that if 90% of the time is sembang kosong, I'll be like, I got something else to do also. Something like that. And not to be rude to whoever who comes and asks for help, but it's better to like, okay, let's be more direct and purposeful. And then of course we can spend some time sembang kosong here and there. But let's also be valuable of each other's commitment to the conversation.
So it's like I think especially when it comes to such fine subjects, because I would say they are fine subjects because they are so specific and delicate, you know. Like they're not like you said, the advice that you're provided sometimes it's just very vague because you don't see it yet, right? It's gonna happen later, but you're
because
not
it's
sure.
based on the person's experience.
Yeah. So, but if you're not specific enough to them, then they're like, they're not sure where you're trying to go. And they cannot provide you with the advice or hints of how do you get there, you know?
Yeah. So learning how to ask the right questions is also important.
Yes.
Yeah. If you just ask like, how do I do a deck? Okay, I'll show you how to do a deck.
Yeah.
But if you ask like, I'm trying to pitch for this project, And what I
Yeah.
discover is that the client wants to achieve this.
Yes.
How can I do a deck and a proposal that can help the client achieve this?
Yeah.
And then it becomes more specific.
Yeah.
Then yes, I can help you to do a deck. At the same
Yeah.
time, let's position our deck to focus on this because that
Exactly.
helps you to achieve that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
something like that.
So I think different ways of questioning will give you different kinds of answers, right? I think like in a previous episode, I asked like, how do you look back at your for you? It's talking about the golden 440,
Wow.
right? That one. So then it's like we were saying, did you ever imagine yourself now? You know, when you're down, and it's a very open question.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, which part? Right. Then I say, answer. So for me, the purpose of that line of questioning was I deliberately left it open so you would yourself decide on which point of your life is more significant for you to get there. Compared to if I would guide the question more, then yeah, I could say maybe when you were 9 years old, did you ever imagine?
Like
but
you
if
give
I
super specific.
Yeah, but if I deliberately let it open, then you see what happens is people will eventually land at the point that they think would have been most significant to impact the answer of the question. So you eventually landed at your high school period. So for you, probably you were thinking that your high school period is the place where you might have thought you would have decided, be able to see what you would have become when you were 40, but you didn't, you know? So like different lines of questioning, different kind of answers that you get. So you need to be, like you said, purposeful about what you're trying to ask, especially when it comes to mentorship, which is like, it can be super open-ended, but if you're the more specific you are, the better advice that you can get.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
the more specific, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess this is where we can end this episode.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good point. So what's your key takeaway from our discussion?
I think for me it's like it's interesting to still dabble with that idea, which is like, can you have a mentor that's a total stranger?
Oh,
You know, we haven't really come to that
yeah.
whether, but I think maybe another topic, another time.
Yeah.
But so far, it seems that you do need to develop some kind of relationship with them to have an effective mentor-mentee relationship.
And at
Yeah.
least you don't need to talk about the baseline things like
Yes.
who are you? What do you do? You can skip all that part.
Yeah, you can
already.
see about that part,
Yeah.
you know. So like so far, like seems like we haven't. It cannot really be a stranger, but who knows, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe there may be some.
Yeah,
like that.
just like how you said that. Oh, you want to get sorry, what's the person's name again?
Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek. Yeah, Simon Sinek, and Simon
Yeah.
Sinek doesn't know you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know him through his content and whatever, but
yeah.
technically you don't know each other lah.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's strangers lah.
Yeah.
Will it work
Yeah.
if, let's say, you just meet him and it's like, okay, can we have like this discussion?
Yeah.
And it's not a coaching discussion; it's a mentoring discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it work?
Can it even happen? You
Can
know,
it
it's
even
like,
happen? Or he'll be like, but I don't know you. Who are you again?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it becomes weird.
like maybe
Anyway.
he can, but it might not end up becoming like a mentoring thing. You know, it might just end up becoming like, I can give you some advice, but I don't know you so much, so deep enough. Maybe I cannot give you specific to who you are.
Yeah.
I need to know you better for that. You know, it might be that case. So, but who knows? It could really just be like, he can straight on the spot, total strangers. He know, and maybe we're so in sync. He knows me. He can give you the exact advice that I need. It could be that way.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think it's an interesting thing to explore.
Interesting thing
yeah.
to explore. And if any of our audience here has an answer to that, you know,
Yeah,
leave it in the
yeah.
comments. I'd like to hear from you guys as well.
Yeah.
I guess my takeaway from our discussion here is I guess we drill down to mentoring is ideally people who share the same purpose. And no, you can't really say that, oh, this guy will be a great mentor, that guy will be a great mentor, just vaguely like that.
Yeah.
It has to be that one person and the other party can vibe together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
vibe together. Is that how the Gen Zs use nowadays? They vibing?
I think that works.
No, okay, I try.
I think that works.
I try, lah. I try. Yeah, can vibe together. And more importantly is that when you start to vibe, the questions have to be specific.
Yeah.
If not, it could be a waste of time.
Yeah.
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 I'll end this one with this note of what Richard mentioned. He says that he's willing to be part of my journey, but he set one criteria: help those who seek for help. And that's something that I understood clearly around the journey, lah. Right? Well, I'll leave the details between me and him, but and how we got to that point. But anyway, I'll leave that to you guys as well to discover your own mentorship journey as well with whoever that you think resonates the most with you. And this will be the end of this episode's Podcast Tak Berlesen. We thank you so much for watching. And if you have any further topics that you think is worthwhile for us to discuss, feel free to leave it in the comments as well. Till then, we'll see you guys in the next episode. This episode should be released in Raya's week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, based on our schedule. So, yep. Selamat Hari Raya, people.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.